Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live. We have a good show for you this morning, and the metaphor to put in your toolbox to open up your mind and see what's going on is shrink the tumor. Shrink the tumor. So let's take a look at Eckhart Tolle's quote for the day. That's what I used to kick off this dialogue. Basically what these are is insight dialogues. I'm having a dialogue with you to activate insight, because I get insight from these talks as well. I always come out of the talk seeing more than I saw when I went into it, and I hope you have the same experience. So the Eckhart Tolle quote for the day is, whenever there is negativity in you, if you can be aware of that moment, that there is something in you that takes pleasure in it or believes it has a useful purpose, you are becoming aware of the ego directly. The moment this happens, your identity has shifted from ego to awareness. This means the ego is shrinking and awareness is growing. Now, the important thing here is that if you can be aware at that moment that there is something in you that takes pleasure in it or believes it has a purpose. So you have to catch the hidden or the secret pleasure in the moment. It's kind of like catching the kid with his hand in the cookie jar. Who's been stealing the cookies? No one admits it. So you go in at night and flip the light on, and there he is, hand stuck in the cookie jar. During the day, you see, he was, did you do it? No. Did you do it? No. Did you do it? No. Everybody denies it. Everybody denies the secret pleasure. But if you catch it in the act, you see, in the moment, you see, that's the metaphor for awareness, flipping on the light. You see the duality of it. So let's look into this. Okay, so we're going to do a dissectomy. We're going to dissect the ego here and open it up a little bit. Take this cotton ball and pull it apart. Okay. So what Tolle is saying here is that when you experience negativity, now negativity is any negative emotion, anxiety, fear, jealousy, envy. You know what negativity is. Negative feelings, unpleasant, and expressed in emotion. An emotion is this negative energy, and we blame it on somebody else, or we blame it on ourselves, you see. So what he's saying is that there is a secret pleasure in there that we're not seeing. And you know, I think we always have experiences of this when we say, I'm not taking the cookies, I didn't take the cookies, or I didn't do it, or there's a denial, and you catch that person, you catch them in a contradiction, and there's a little secret smile, a little Mona Lisa smile. It's just very subtle, but you can see that there is a recognition of being exposed. There is an awareness of the denial, the secret pleasure. Yes, I did get pleasure in smacking that person or being smacked or whatever, you see. But anyway, I think we get the idea here of the secret pleasure. So what we're looking at here is that when let's take the cookie jar or whatever, but there's the ego as a sense of separate self as me as a separate person, a separate entity, a separate thing, you see. That the sense of separate self that has a history and a memory and beliefs and opinions and the story of me and the whole thing, you see. You see, this whole entity that moves through time. Like the other night we were at the Blackstone reunion, high school reunion, and all these people were moving through time together on this cruise ship of history, where they go back and they talk about their youth and they talk about their lives, and now they talk about their operations and what's wrong with them, you know, and they talk about who just fell off the ship, who died, you see, and they're moving on till there's one left, and then that person leaves, and then that ship is empty, you see. But that's a sense of being a being with a history, you see, that's wrapped in history, a self, you see. So we're kind of like getting that overall sense of this ego is this sense of being wrapped in time as an entity, you see. Me. I. So what we're looking at here is basically Noah's Ark. Wait a minute. Wait. What? No. The truth of Noah's Ark is that everything comes in pairs. The truth of in quantum physics is that everything is a wave. Now a wave is that. So a wave is a pair, but it's moving. Here's positive and here's negative, okay? That's a pair. It's a battery. If you were to take a wave and catch it and capture it, it would look like a battery. You got a negative and a positive. You got a negative and a positive. But this is moving, okay? The battery is static. But the battery contains the energy of the wave, so it doesn't dissipate in ground, you see. It holds it there. So when you plug the battery into a circuit, a flashlight, it turns on the light. It's available energy. But, okay, I think we got something here. So you got the ego, it's got a positive, and unconscious is negative. Okay, so it's got these two poles. But life is moving. Life is a moving wave. Now the problem is that the ego can only see one thing at a time. It can only see what's here in this moment. So it can only see pleasure or pain. It can't see pleasure, pain. It can only see up or down. It can't see up, down. It can only see outside or inside. It can't see inside, outside. In other words, the ego is basically stuck in nouns. The ego can only see things. And this is because, and this is not a fault, this is a survival mechanism. It's a way of awareness, you see. But the ego is kind of like stuck in that because it sees itself as a thing. So the ego believes itself is a thing, so naturally it can only see things. I'm a thing, you're a thing. So it just sees nouns. And then each thing it sees is going to either be pleasure or pain, positive or negative, but it can't see positive, negative. Because life is moving, it's a wave, you see. And so the ego, you see, is surfing. We are surfing the wave. We are in the wave of life. So we are all moving in this wave, but we believe we're outside of the wave. We believe we're on the beach watching the wave. You get that? You get that idea? There's two views here. We are in the wave of life that has the valley, that has the positive and the negative, that's moving through time. Positive and negative are one. They're just moving together like yin yang, positive and negative. So there's tremendous energy in this wave. But at the same time, we also have this awareness that stands on the beach and watches the wave of life as objects. Oh, look at that. Let's study that wave. I've got a whole science that will study that stuff, you see, from the beach. This objective view of the world that I'm in, you see, extracts myself from it so I can study it. You can't study something that you're in. You can only study something that you're outside of. And then you can study it, figure out the laws, reproduce it, make it better, all that stuff that we're so good at. Nothing wrong with that. But we see it as the only view. The view from the beach. The view from the shore, you see. So then when we want to understand ourselves, you see, we can't understand ourselves from that view. So all we can see then is what's conscious. And remember then, everything comes in pairs. So consciousness comes with unconsciousness. Or our old friend yin yang, right? Positive, negative, right? So every positive comes with a negative. Every pleasure comes with a pain. You see, so every positive comes with a negative. That's the way the wave goes. You cannot break the wave up and just have crests. You can't think positively and get rid of negatives. You can't have only good. You can't have only perfection. You can't have only positive, only up. You can't have just winning and no losing. You see? So, you can't have consciousness without unconsciousness. Now this division, this inability to see the one, that is two, all we see is two. This or that. Choose one. I choose that. I don't want that. Or I choose that. I don't want this. What do you want? What do you want? Choose, 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 you see. So the choice is always between two things we can see. But you can't choose the one when you can't be conscious of the other of the other half of the one. I hope you're getting a grasp of this. I'm just getting a grasp of it, so hang on there. This is a subway. Hang on to the strap. It's going to get rocky. You see, so the mind that is conscious of things can't see what it's not conscious of. But consciousness comes with unconsciousness. Positive comes with negative. Light comes with dark. You can't have just all light. You can't have all dark. Dark comes with light. Light comes with light. Cole Porter, night and day you are the one. Night and day you are the one. Now what is the one, you see? The ego can't see it. Because the ego can only see one or the other. And it can only make a choice when it has two visible things to choose. You see? Choice means two, and you got to choose which one will be the one. You got two people, romantic conflict or dilemma. Should I marry this one or that one? Both are great. Which one is the one? And finally, there's a big smile. I know which one the one is, you see. So the dilemma of the two is solved when the one is chosen. But this particular thing is what we're talking about there, is the choice between these two for who's going to be the one, you see, by eliminating the other. Well, that's not what we're talking about here, because you can't eliminate, you can't find the one through ego consciousness, because ego consciousness can only choose nouns, and it cannot see the secret pleasure. It cannot see the hidden side. It can't see the other side of the moon. So it can't choose the whole moon, because it can't see the other side to choose it. So ego is incapable of restoring oneness. So this is why this symbol of the Ouroboros, an ancient symbol of the snake eating itself, is basically, the ancients knew what this was. The ancients understood, because they were back at the beginning of the evolution of consciousness. You see, we're all tangled up in it now, but they could see very clearly. And so a lot of their mythology was to explain in pictures and images the trap of consciousness and this sense of individual separate self. This sense of self is a new phenomena in humanity. It's not that old. Tribal cultures don't have a sense of self, a separate ego. It's unthinkable. You're the tribe. You and the tribe are one. There's no sense of, well, what about me? I don't want to do that. That's unthinkable. The tribe is like an ant colony or a basketball team or a SEAL team. It all moves as one. Nobody says, I'm not going to do that. You see? There are no, in tribal awareness, in oneness, there are no separate, contradictory rebels. You see? All is one, one for all. And that has always been the consciousness of man. It's just been recently that this idea of a separate me has evolved. An individual. I got rights, you see. I'm not going. You see, I'm unique. I'm separate. I'm special. You see, this whole idea there comes with unintended consequences, because as soon as you separate yourself from the whole, you have an unconscious conscious polarity that creates a Ouroboros in trying to restore the one by a civil war against itself, you see. So it moves this conflict. It's called a panic attack. It's called a vicious cycle. It's called a double bind, or the horns of the dilemma, you see. Right? So the horns of the dilemma is you have to choose one, but each are part of the horn. See, so you can't choose one because the other is also the horn. You can't, and if you can only see one, either or, you see, you're ending up in an Ouroboros, because if you choose one, the other is a reflection of it. It's like trying to choose the reflection and not the mirror. Or choose the mirror, but not forget the reflection. I want a mirror without a reflection. Or I want the reflection, but no mirror. They're two, but they're one. Mutually dependent. You can't separate it. But we try. We try because we can only see one or the other. We can't see both at the same time. So that's why we're getting in here to what Tolle said. If you can be aware at the moment there is something in you that takes pleasure in it or believes it's useful, if you can see the moment when you got your hand in the cookie jar, the moment when you've got the secret, when you see the secret pleasure or secret purpose. Purpose is not always pleasure, but there's purpose in being, I want to be the one, you see. So if I create a fight, The secret, and I say, oh, I'm doing it to help you. I'm doing it because I love you. I'm beating you because I love you. What is the secret pleasure? The secret purpose is that I'm beating you because I want to be the one, and I want to control you. I want to be the one, you see, that has no second. I want to be this, and the only way to be this one, you see, is to get rid of you. That's my purpose. But I'm just conscious of, oh, I'm doing it because I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm beating you because I love you. I'm whipping you because I love you. And then why are you whipping me? Because it doesn't feel like you love me. You see. But that purpose, that ego, is not seeing the unconscious secret pleasure, that they're doing it in order to restore the one, you see. But they're restoring the one. The one they're restoring is one horn of the two. The one they're trying to restore is just the positive end of the battery. A funny thing about a battery, if you remove, or say a magnet, say this is magnetized, positive and negative. So I want to just have positive. I just want to have me as the one. And I got to get rid of this negative, okay? So I just got rid of the negative. What happens? This end becomes negative. So then I got, oh, damn, it's back again. So I got to beat that thing down again. Now I got a new civil war. Now I got a new negative I got to get rid of. So I'll get rid of that, you see. And now there's a moment of, aha, I'm the winner. I'm number one. And whoops, wait a minute. It's back again, but it comes back in a new form. It comes back like I got a new battle here, a new challenger. I've never seen this guy before. Where did this guy come from? Now I got to beat him down. This is the, tennis. You get the master who becomes number one tennis player. And so that tennis player is always battling these young kids that are coming up. 18, 17, 18, 19. Where in the hell has this guy come from? He just beat me. You see, you can't maintain number one because it's a wave. So in sports, it's a game, okay? In politics, it's supposed to be a game. Today, the Democrats are one. But what's happened today in politics is no, no, no. Our party's got to be one forever. And we got to be one forever, maintain power and oneness forever by totally defeating the other side so they never come back. Totally eliminating the negative. Stopping the wave. You see? If you stop the wave, the dance of the positive and the negative, Where? And then you name it, and then you put it in a dictionary, and then you make a study of it. You dissect it and create more nouns. All the different little parts are all named. You keep opening up the butter, you keep opening up the frog, and you name all of the parts, and then you divide those parts and name some more parts, and then you get a more powerful microscope and you name those parts. So we're just dividing and naming everything and turning everything into a noun. But when it comes to life and understanding my life as me, you see, nouns don't work. You got to see verbs. So we are a verb as well as nouns, and the verb is a wave, and the verb includes the positive and the negative. So, you see, what Tolle is pointing to here is that when you are aware of the positive and negative, the conscious and the unconscious pleasure or purpose in a moment. You see, we're conscious of one person. I love you and I want to help you, and I'm beating you. I'm controlling you to help you. You see, I'm controlling you to help you. That's my conscious purpose. The unconscious purpose is that I'm controlling you so I can be the one without a second. You cannot be a one with me, you see. You cannot be an equal, you cannot be the other half of my wave. You can't be my Ginger Rogers. I'm going to dance by myself and you're going to follow me. But in Ginger and using them as a metaphor, in Fred and Ginger, they are dancing synchronously, both rising at the same time. Fred's not leading her. She's not leading Fred. They are dancing in absolute harmony. Like on a piano, tap the C, C1, and the C2, the next octave up, will resonate. The ones in the middle don't. So the vibration is rising together. There's no cause and effect there. You tap C1 isn't causing the C at the higher level to vibrate. They rise together. They are resonating. Fred and Ginger are rising together as a battery, a positive and a negative sign. It's one, you see. So in the art, we restore one. In the ego, we try to restore one by dividing it, and I'm running out of thing here, and controlling the one. So, you see, for the ego, the one means I'm the one, and I control you, right? So I'm the one, and you are number two. And this plays out in everything. You see what I mean? So here, the conscious purpose is this is for your own good. This is so we'll get things, whatever the purpose is. And then there is the unconscious purpose is that I have to restore one, and that's going to be me. So anyway, this is kind of like the dance of the pairs of opposites, where you have a conflict where one tries to, and it can be the woman tries to control the man and the man tries to control. So it's a dance going on. But anyway, I hope you get the idea here that awareness that catches the ego in its duplicity, in its self-deception. The awareness is not the ego. The awareness is our true identity. The awareness is who we are, you see. And awareness is whole. Seeing is whole. Seeing sees the whole room, not just half the room. So the ego sees with one eye, and it believes the one eye, what it sees is the whole room. It cannot see what the other eye doesn't see, you see. So when you see, it's like, whoa, I see the conscious and the unconscious. I see the positive and the negative. I see both together as one. And that is a creative sight. That is a transcendent sight. that transcends the experience of the ego that only sees half the room. Suddenly I see the whole room, and that is a creative idea. We all see that in problem solving. Problem solving is, I got a problem because I think I can't see the whole thing. There's some things I'm not seeing here, so I'm stuck. I'm going in a circle. I keep trying to do it over and over again. It won't work, you see. And suddenly you have an insight. The hand comes off, and you have a single idea. Oh, and when you have that single idea, you just do it. You just turn the thing. You just write down the formula. You just play the tune. You just sing the song. You just dance the movement, you see. Seeing is action. Seeing is a spontaneous, creative action, where seeing and being are one. We'll leave it with that. So thank you for dropping in. I'm going to Washington this afternoon to see our daughter in the Kennedy Center, where she is performing in the Hedwig and the Angry Inch. She's been understudy, and so this is their last place in her year-long tour, and so it will be. And she's getting to perform tonight, so we're going up and see that. So we'll be. I'll be back tomorrow evening, maybe get back in time for a martini, and I'll see you then.